Hey, what's up guys, it's Theo from Concept. So today I'm going to show you how to make your images look better in Adobe Photoshop. The image I'm actually going to use is a friend of mine who has been lying to me a lot. But she has no idea I'm going to use this image, so don't tell her, okay? Anyway, let's just get started.
Welcome to Concept. Click the subscribe button and hit the bell icon so you don't miss out on any of our future videos. So for this tutorial, as always, I'm using Photoshop CC 2018 and I'm actually going to use this image just like I said in the intro, so I'll just open it up in Adobe Photoshop. Let's zoom in a little bit. I'm actually noticing some little bit of pimples. Generally the hormones are kicking in and there are acne on the face. So basically everything we are going to use are the healing brush tool and the family. Anyway, so we have the spot healing brush tool, the healing brush tool, the patch tool. I'm basically going to be using all three and I'll explain to you what these three do. I haven't actually tried the contact aware move tool, so I'm not going to be talking about that, just these three for this tutorial. So first of all and most important thing is to duplicate your image so that you can always go back to the original in case you make a mistake. And to duplicate is just simple Ctrl J or just click and drag onto the new layer icon like I just did. So for the top layer, let's just call this work. I actually like typing in caps, and I'll grab the first tool, which is the spot healing brush tool. So what it does is it's going to analyze where the imperfections are and it's just going to try to make it a lot easier to look at. So I'll just click on it several times. Anywhere you click is just actually going to analyze and just take it out for you, but you can also go ahead and decrease or increase the size depending on how you want it, and you can also decrease and increase the hardness. I have mine set to 100, so you can see anytime I click it's a solid brush just like the hard round brush, but if I change the hardness you can see that it's more of a soft brush. Depending on what you are using it for, you may or may not have to be changing the hardness. So I'm going to fast forward for now, setting my hardness to 100, and I'll catch you in a second. So the next part is actually to remove these dark portions of the eye, and for that I'll be actually using the healing brush tool. So to do that, secondly I'll create another duplicate. So you know what, let's call this healing brush. I just want to be doing this so that you can see the difference between each individual work. So let's call this spot healing brush. That way I can show you the before and after just like I'm showing you right now. So for the healing brush, I'll just select it from here. It's also J for the shortcut. So for that you have to actually sample some part you want to use as reference point on your image. So for this particular image I'm just going to sample some part like this area. So to do that you just hold down the Alt key and you just click one time, so you can see that that is my sample over here. And anytime you brush over, it's just going to be using that reference point to generate the new area for you. So I'll just reduce the size because it's ridiculously huge. I think about 15 should be okay. So I'll click one more time and I'll just be brushing over. Now you can see as I'm moving, it is also moving in that direction, taking out all of these areas I don't need. Now this is going to look a lot horrifying once I show you the afterwork, but I'm going to show you how to fix it in a second. So again, I'll just do the same for here. Now keep sampling. You don't have to make the sample size the exact same thing throughout the entire process. You can just sample one more time from a different angle and you keep on doing that over and over again. So let's fit this to screen and now see how this is looking like. So this is before and after. You can see that this is very bad. So to fix this, I'll actually usually just turn down the opacity to about 50% so that you get some form of natural looking image instead of just being so blown out like this. So 50% opacity is just enough for me, but it is still not enough for the completion of this video. So to do one more, I'll just select these two and I'll create a duplicate. This time around I'm just going to merge them up and call this let me see what, the patch 2. So I'll call this patch, and again still working with the eyelets, or are these eyelets anyway, so still working with those areas around the eyes. I'll just select the patch 2 this time around. Now the patch 2 allows you to create a selection around an area you want to take or fill out with another part of the body. So I want to fill this area up with some parts of the skin around here. So once I have that selection, I'll just click and drag over here and it's just going to fill it up. Now this tool isn't always perfect, so try to place this at a reasonable place. So I'll just take some parts over here and I'll place it somewhere around here, but it is quite solid if you do it very well. So I'll create a selection like this, place it somewhere here, and it's just going to be mending every part I want. So I think I made a mistake here, so I'll just fill it up like so. Now I'm basically focusing on the face because that's where most people are going to look at, and probably the eyes as well. So I'll just use the patch tool. You can see that we have some form of yellowish area, so I'll just click and drag that to the black area and I'll just fill it in with the black area. So basically you just be doing this for some parts of the image and it's going to look awesome. Again, I'll reduce the opacity to about, let's try 30% for this so that it looks a little bit natural than the others. You can also add in some other things, but I think I'm going to leave mine as that for now. So for now, I'm just going to highlight everything, hold down Control, hold down Alt and press E. This is going to merge everything and put it on top like so. So once I have done that, I'll just go to Filter and go to Blur. And under Blur, I'm going to click on Surface Blur. So that's going to apply a blur on top of the image. Now the radius is a little bit too huge, so I'll set it to about 2 or 3. Let's try 3 first. And the threshold, again, too huge, probably 5 or 3. Let's try 3 also. So let's change the radius to 2 and a threshold of 3, and I'll click on OK. Now if you can't see the difference, this is the before and the after. I think I have to zoom in a little bit for you to see that there's some form of blur over there. I was actually supposed to duplicate this first, so you know what, I'm going to undo that effect, duplicate it, undo by Ctrl Z, duplicate it, and I'll apply this effect on the other one. So that's Control Alt F. If you are on an older version, you probably have to use just Control F to work your way around it. The reason why I created the duplicate is because once I apply the surface blur, I'm losing those sharpened edges, so I'm actually going to apply those sharpened edges onto this image. So for that, I'm going to, let me just call this high pass. So the filter I'm going to use is called the high pass filter. Let's go to Filter, and under Others you have high pass, and for this you don't set the radius to a lot, just somewhere around 0.5 should be okay, just when you have those edges coming in like so. And change the blend mode to soft light. So soft light or highlight, you are going to get different results. You can see how sharpened it is with the highlight, but I prefer mine to be soft light. And basically that's it. If I group all of this, I can show you the before and the after. So this is the image before we started, and this is the image after everything. But again, this is looking nice to me, but I'm not done. The last one is going to be to apply what I call the camera raw filter to it. So I'll just merge this group up so that I have the original image here, and I'll go to Filter and I'll click on camera raw filter. So the first thing I do is actually increase the exposure to about 0.3, sometimes 0.5, and I'll increase the clarity to about 10 or 15, so depending on what I'm using or what editing I'm doing. And I also like to crank up the blacks and shadows. but rather reduce the white and highlight. I don't know, I think it looks nicer to me, so a highlight of about 30 and white negative 30 I mean. So once I'm done, I'll just click on detail and I'll sharpen the image to an about of about 15 and I'll just click on OK. So basically that is going to be the final work. So if I place this in the main group, you can see that this is the work we began with and this is the final work.
And we are done. Unfortunately, I can't leave this PSD in the links in the description below. So if you want to create yours, you probably have to start from scratch. Sorry about that. So thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to watch more of our videos, hit that subscribe button, and as always, don't forget to share with your family and friends. This is Theo from Fino Concepts, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.